Hi there, Emma Drew here, and welcome to another episode of Confessions of a YouTuber, the podcast that makes YouTube simple and gets up close and personal with successful YouTube creators, helping you understand what it takes to grow your YouTube channel the easy way. I'd like to thank TubeBuddy for sponsoring today's show. TubeBuddy is a free browser extension that helps you easily manage and optimize your YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel tool I personally can't live without. For more information, head over to tubebuddy.com or check out their link in the show notes below. If you're looking to rapidly grow your channel but don't know where to start, then join my YouTube Audience Growth Lab, where I take you through the 5 steps to automate your YouTube success so that you can focus on what you love doing most, delivering awesome content and reaching those viewers. The great part is it's available all year round, and I'm offering the first module absolutely free when you sign up today. It's ready and waiting when you are, so now's the time to take action. You can learn more and see what other students are saying by clicking the link in the show notes below. Today's guest has got nearly 2 million subscribers and over 600 million views, and he continues to thrive as an independent creator. So let's dive straight in and welcome the lovely Steve Cash from the Talking Kitty Cat series. Hey Steve, thanks for joining me. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been brilliant that you could come along. Can you tell me a little bit about your channel? Man, I've been watching it, and it's the most hilarious comedic thing I've ever seen, I have to say, on YouTube. I mean, it fulfills every kind of stereotype of YouTube cat videos. But can you tell me a little bit more about how you got started? And
Yeah, I can be very specific, as a matter of fact. Back in around like 2006, 2007, I just started making videos for fun. And this is back in the day when YouTube partnerships were with YouTube, before Google ever bought them out. And I was
wow.
trying so hard to be like one of them. And I remember watching this guy, SMP Films, and he had made all of these random videos, but one that stood out, it was called the Mean Kitty Song. It was like this rap song back in the day. And everybody, like, it had the most views on YouTube for its time, which was like 40 million views, means nothing now, but like that was
Yeah.
massive back then.
Uh-huh.
And so I made a song called The Meaner Kitty, and kicked it right back at him, and that ended up being one of my first videos to actually get some views. But then just started recording Sylvester, and I
Uh-huh.
mean, kind of dictating the context a little bit, and
Uh-huh.
it was nothing really.
Uh-huh.
I put out a video, an entire year went by. I hadn't made any money off of it.
Uh-huh.
And break.com actually offered to put it on their front page of their website in
Uh-huh.
exchange for $400 and a nice little contract that I signed to get the check. And that actual contract signed over the rights to that video to break.com. So they still, to this day, earn every penny I make off of that video.
No
But
way.
luckily for me,
What,
I made
of that
second
one
one.
video that you've got on
Just the one.
YouTube?
Just the first one of the Talking Kitty Cat series is not owned by me. And then the second one I made,
Oh,
I
gosh.
was a little mad about,
Uh-huh.
about that. But at the same time, I wasn't making any money anyway. So to me, that $400 was totally worth it.
And
And
that was
then,
a one-off fee, was it?
yeah, it was a one time. It was
Oh,
one time.
no.
I signed my rights away. So I make the second video 2 years after the first one, just to,
Okay.
tell my cat that I got a dog. And it's just this corny little video where I'm kind of breaking the limits a bit, because I wanted to swear, there was no censorship back then. I was like, screw it. If my cat's going to, talk, he's going to say exactly what we all think they're saying, And then from then on, I just kind of followed his personality, and that's how the dialogue went. And I tried other videos, whether it be music or what I did, the Four Steves, with all kinds of different ideas. And it was really funny because everybody thought I was flopping every time that I would steer away from this talking kitty cat thing. They're like, what is wrong with you? Get back on point. And that happened over and over and over again until I kind of buckled, and I was like, fine, I'll make these videos. And I did. And I made one after another, after another, after another. Next thing I know, I am seeing my stuff on national TV and references to it and just weird culture. And I'm like, dude, this is actually catching on in an underground, strange way.
Uh-huh. And
And
when did that happen?
oh, I don't even remember. I
It's like,
remember a fan telling me in a comment on one of my videos, they're like, I just saw this on Fox Red Eye. And I'm like, whatever, right? And then
uh-huh.
I end up DMing. I'm like, are you serious? And she's like,
Mhm.
oh, of course, Steve, I can't believe it. And she like fangirled for a second. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I need evidence. So I
Uh-huh.
gave her my address. She had TiVoed this, burns it to a DVD, sends it to me, and I watched it, and I'm floored.
Uh-huh.
Like, holy crap, it's people are watching. This is
Uh-huh.
actually happening.
So where
And
was
then
this? Where was it showing?
It was on Fox News Red Eye, which is an
Oh,
international news.
I
It was
see.
not anymore
Okay.
now,
Right.
but it
Okay.
was. It was just part of the Fox News where they were international at the
Wow.
time. But what's funny too was during that age of YouTube, I remember having one of my more popular videos out, and it had been re-uploaded by another user, and it had like 10 times more views than I had.
No way.
I didn't even realize, and this guy's over here making jokes like I should be Steve's publicist. Holy crap, I can get all these views. And that's when I started to learn, when to start flagging people and how to start marketing a little bit, because it's not just grab a camera and have fun. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, I wanted to get onto that actually. But so in terms of your actual videos that you did, you started doing them like obviously this is going way back. It's like 10 years ago or more.
Mhm.
Actually, it's more than 10 years, isn't it? And
Oh,
then
it is.
10 years when you actually started, going on with the using the cat videos or concentrating on the cat videos.
No,
Is that right?
no, it's actually about 10 years now that I've
Yeah.
been concentrating on the cat videos.
Yeah.
Still
Okay.
playing around with other stuff, but in
Uh-huh.
the beginning, I was experimenting with all kinds of different video ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And who would you say is your audience primarily at the moment?
Oh, I wish I could say. Um, Gosh,
'Cause-
it's from the children to the elderly, I mean, and all in
Yeah.
between,
Yeah.
and, yeah, it's not I don't know, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
All races, all ages, all people.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I think from my experience, I mean, I got introduced to you by my kids who came across you and it's really difficult because, as a parent, I'm like, okay, there's some pretty bad language in there, but at the same time, it was just so hilarious. I mean, they're not toddlers, they're sort of, 9 and almost 10 and 13.
Mhm.
So I mean, that they're kind of used to hearing it everywhere on YouTube, and they can make their own minds up. But I
Mhm.
mean, it was such a huge source of entertainment for a whole weekend, and it was a total binge watch. And I think that's probably how people watch your videos. I'm guessing because once you discover Sylvester and you, and you can't stop watching them. You have to watch the whole lot,
Well,
which is
thank
great for
you.
you, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I mean, this is a cat with attitude. So, those of you who haven't seen the channel, I will put the links in the show notes, and you just have to watch it. And obviously, if you're concerned about sorry, not the lyrics, but the language or the bad language, then clearly don't watch it with your younger kids around. So that's just a little tip.
Of
But
course.
don't let that stop you from having fun watching it. So,
Mm.
and so what I wanted to ask actually was, how do you actually manage to make these videos?
You mean, how do I make my cat talk in video?
Yes.
See, that's the question I have a hard time with. I mean,
Okay.
I
No,
say
actually,
my
you.
answer will be a little vague. I mean, I'll
Okay.
answer the questions for those
No.
who are in the industry, but for anybody else, use your
Yeah.
imagination.
Sure. And
Um,
I think actually you do have a video, and I did watch it, and I think that answered it for me. I watched it.
Comically enough, yes, yes.
I watched it all the way through, and
Some people tried that, by the way, and I'm sorry for your soggy, burning pockets. But you know what? You ask the question, you're gonna get whatever answer I want to give to you. By the way, I mean we're talking about talking cats here. I can do whatever I want.
yeah, okay. So love the voice as well. So yeah, I think you've just on point with that voice. And I was looking at the comments as well on some of your videos. And the last video you did, I think, let me see, which one was
Uh,
that?
Sylvester Gets a Job.
Oh,
Was the last one.
the most hilarious.
Thank you. I'm working on Sylvester Gets Paid is the next one.
Oh,
It's gonna be a little
yeah.
bit before that comes out.
Well, we don't want. What about when Sylvester gets fired? Or
Oh, he already got
he's already
fired in that
gone.
last one. You'll see in this next one. I'm not gonna drop any spoilers, but
Oh,
you'll see
okay.
how this plays out. It's fun.
Yeah, he's a legend, really, isn't he? He's
It's
a
a
real
lot of
cat.
people. It's a lot of people. To
Yeah.
me, he's just this whiny little bastard in my kitchen and in my living room that never shuts up because he's doing exactly what I trained him to do. And
Oh
that's
wow,
to be loud and let me know. And
he's really clever. He's a clever
oh,
cat.
he is extremely, and it drives me nuts sometimes. But yeah.
So what happens? Like, does he get recognized out on the street?
Sylvester? So
Yeah.
he's an indoor cat. He's an
Oh,
indoor
is
cat.
he?
No, he does not go outside. Anytime you see him outside,
Uh huh.
know that I spent a lot of time working with a green screen and a lot of time outside infiltrating areas and getting shots that I needed. That's
Uh,
not, he does not go outside. That's all me video editing.
oh wow, that's fascinating. That's a lot of work.
It is insane.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the sort of the work involved in terms of like the editing and all that kind of business.
Okay. Well, first off, my job as a storyteller
Hmm.
is really difficult when it comes to animals because a lot of people think, well, how do you get this to happen or how do you get that to happen?
Uh-huh.
And the honest answer is I don't. I don't have the ability to make anything happen. So what I have is I have external hard drives, at least 12 terabytes of footage that is either really old and has to be marked as no longer usable because it's got Gibson in it, who was a cat that passed away,
I know.
or another cat when they're too young, they were too small, so I have to like mark everything to the time frame. And
Uh-huh.
Lord forbid we move around the furniture, I'm like, crap, there goes a whole like years worth of footage that I can't use now. But so I
Wow.
keep all of that, so if I want to tell a story, I can try and film to fill in the blanks, but for the most part I gotta hope I filmed the right stuff in the last year and go through it and just hope that the shots work. And if they don't, I start filming and just hope. And sometimes what Sylvester does in front of the camera completely changes the storyline, and I just have to go with it. I'm like, fine, that's what happens next. That's cool. So yeah, he
Yeah.
really does write it for the most part.
Yeah, he does. And then, so what kind of camera are you using for all the shots? Has it changed over time?
Oh. Oh man, when I started, I had a Sony 8 that actually took videotapes.
Oh
My
no.
my next one was a mini DV that took just smaller videotapes.
Oh yeah,
And
I
eventually
remember
I get
those.
yeah, yeah, but they were great for the time. But what
Yeah.
sucked was having you had to rewind it, go find the spot and press capture on your software and then wait until the clip was over to end the
Yeah.
capture. And then yeah, it's some real relic crap. But
Oh,
yeah, so now I'm using a Sony A6000 camera, which is not the top of the line, but I always have to tell myself, keep in mind, I have a $900 lens that I'm putting on this thing just to get the angle I want, as well as all kinds of different hardware. I've got a gimbal, I've got a crane, I've
mhm.
got just plenty of things to get the shots that I need, as well as different lens attachments. And at the end of the day, I don't need my shots or my footage to come out in a 4K video because it's supposed to look like a home video.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So at the end of even in when I'm editing, sometimes it's funny. I'll find myself editing a shot to create pan to make the camera shake around, and it's so funny because I'm like, you're supposed to be working to make that not happen, yet I'm working because the shot was too clear. I'm like, I gotta
Ah,
buzz it up a little bit. It's got to look
yeah.
amateur a bit. So I work to make it look like crap.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Because I noticed like, you know how like some of the I don't know if you've ever noticed, but say some brands might put out an advert and they try and make it look like a YouTube video.
Oh, of course,
And
reality sales.
yeah, but then when it's a brand doing it, it kind of doesn't work.
Yeah,
It just looks really rubbish. And you're like,
it's
oh no, don't do that. It just doesn't feel right.
no,
It's kind of
it's
the
cringy.
same thing, isn't it? The other way around. Whereas, like, yeah, so if your videos were like too crisp, too well done, it'd be like,
Mhm.
no, that's not right.
Yeah, this isn't a home video series anymore. What the heck is this?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I have to stay back. I stay behind a little bit, and I think it's funny because sometimes people will comment. They're like, "Why does this look like it came out in 2007?" And I don't respond, but other people are like, "Because it's supposed to." And I'm like, "Thank you to my
Yeah.
little fan group that's shutting these people up because trust me, you don't want it to look better." You ever watched a movie that just was so cinematic, and then you see it in 60 frames per second in 4K, and it looks like a soap opera?
Yeah.
It
Oh
just
no,
has
it's
this
horrible.
weird feel to it, and you're just like,
Isn't that true? Because actually, when 4K came out and we started watching it, I was thinking, that looks a bit weird. It doesn't look. It
yeah."
doesn't look. It doesn't look cinematic. It doesn't. It
Mm-mm.
looks like a soap opera.
Exactly, and 25 frames per second is actually more dramatic to the human eye. For some reason, it allows our random access memory, which I don't actually have the term for it, but, to catch on to ideas and think in between the shots. If there's too much video thrown at you all
Uh-huh.
at one time, there's no
Yeah.
moment for you to take it in. There's no
Yeah.
moment to stop because you're constantly having to focus. So,
Oh
the whole
wow.
purpose is to give the brain a second, whether it be
Yeah.
just one in 25, just to stop and take it in to process
Yeah.
what you're saying because we know their attention spans and that's mine as well. If I'm not entertained in the first 10 seconds, I'm off to the next thing. I'm scrolling,
Oh yeah.
so our whole thing is pay attention to the attention span of a housefly, which is that of Americans anyway. Done so quick. On to the next. But
Yeah, no, I think that's, but then I think that's kind of the YouTube community. That's when people come onto YouTube, that's what they're expecting. You sit down to Netflix, you give yourself, a few more, maybe
a little
20
bit of time.
seconds.
No, I'll give it the 10-minute trial is what I say. Every time I start a new episode
Yeah.
or anything, 10
Yeah.
minutes. If I'm not into it, I'm done. Which
Yeah.
sucks. I probably missed a lot of great stuff because of that rule.
Yeah. And then people recommend it and then you're like, okay, I'll go back to that. But, it's.
Oh, I quit Game of Thrones 3 times. I
Yeah,
couldn't get through the first episode.
but isn't that part of like the culture now? Is that we want instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and
Exactly.
and therefore, so if there's anything where we have to wait, it's like, okay, I haven't got the patience all the time for this, so let's get on. And that's kind of the problem that we're having. But maybe we're sort of moving around. Everything's so fragmented now, so that you use YouTube for one thing, use Netflix for another thing. You're on your phone for other things. So I think you seem to have your channel down to a T when it comes to what your audience want, what you can deliver. And I was looking at the community comments, and they absolutely love you. I mean, you and Sylvester, the whole channel, and they seem to be really like just in awe of everything you do. And they're like, I don't know, I didn't see a lot of your comments back. Do you comment back?
I do, but I do it so early on because
Okay.
I have a fear of becoming narcissistic about what I do.
Uh-huh.
So because it's too much, it's too much attention and it's too many good compliments for any one human being to take. So you like, I don't like having a big head. I don't want to get it. It's one of the main reasons why I still keep a day job, to remain humble. This stuff can get to your head, and I've watched a lot of people in the industry that just drives them into a bad spot where they never really get what they have. But back to the what I can deliver, I don't feel like I do deliver what I should be doing. I mean, there was a point just I want to say 5 videos ago or so where I hadn't uploaded a video for close to 9 months because I was going through my own depression.
Oh,
And when
dear.
I did finally upload a video after fighting through, my struggles to just try to be creative, try to be happy, try to make something funny when I was just in the pits of my own hell, and I get it uploaded, and one of the first comments on it was, "Bro, I forgot you existed." And I'm just
Oh,
like, "Damn, man, I'm out of your mind that quick," but I get it.
yeah.
That's the field we're playing on. So I
Yeah.
try to be quick, but creativity, I choose quality over quantity any day. So sometimes I'm quiet for a long time, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing anything.
Oh,
Other than that,
absolutely,
we
yeah.
still have to live life. This can't take
Well,
over.
exactly, it can't take over, and I think this is the issue that a lot of creators have. And obviously, there's been a lot of talk about burnout. There's been a lot of talk about
Oh, yeah.
there's the sort of issues that YouTubers have. I mean, especially the big creators and those who have been working on it for years. And I was like that myself, where there is no exit strategy. You have to be very clear about how you're going to sort of come out of doing these videos if that's what you want, or how you take a break, because as soon as you take a break, everyone takes over, and that's your livelihood gone if that's what you rely on.
Because you have
And
competition.
yeah, and it takes a lot to get back into the game and a lot of effort, and you have to make a very conscious decision as to whether you take a step back. And if you don't take a step back, you potentially can suffer from burnout, and it might
Hardest thing.
and it might not be the direction you want to go on with forever. I mean, this is it. You're sort of typecast, and I want to go back a little bit, if you don't mind. That you mentioned that you were suffering from depression,
Mhm. Of
and
course.
had that got anything to do with you being a YouTuber, or was it
Oh,
something that was
yes.
triggered from that?
Yes,
What
yes. Being
happened?
a YouTuber is depressing in itself.
So tell
Um,
me a bit about that.
I think I had so much fun trying to get there, and I still have fun with it today, but I got to rewire my brain on a regular basis because,
Uh-huh.
I mean, let's face it, I love cats, but I don't want to live cats.
Uh-huh.
They're around me all the time.
Yeah.
Now, every time a cat meows, I feel the urge to jump in and grab a camera. That's
Oh,
not healthy. That's not
no.
really a healthy way to live. It
Yeah.
should be a creative thing that's on the side. And as
Mhm.
soon as the things that you enjoy that are fun to you
Uh-huh.
become your job,
Yeah.
it's a whole new stress, especially when now your ego's tied into it. People are like, I love you because of this. And you're like, I'm not always going to be doing this, but I can't tell you when I'm done. I just know that there's times when the hell I'm gonna make another cat video, you know? I'll stop and I'll make a video game or something. That's another one of my favorite things to do. I'm
Oh,
also
right.
in a
Okay.
band, so I'll turn around and I'll go play shows,
Nice.
run around and doing that. I'm a lead singer for the band called Pause for the Cause. So I've got other
Wow.
outlets, but I'm always
Yeah.
leaving one audience hanging every time, and it sucks. But
Oh, yeah. So
but, uh
that's an issue.
it's an issue, and I just got to come out and say it too. I do struggle with generalized anxiety disorder and depression, and I was just diagnosed 3 days ago with bipolar manic depressive disorder because my doctors see me on such highs and such lows, and I'm always
Mhm.
talking about this stuff. I'm always talking about the
Uh-huh.
creativity,
Yeah.
and so his thing to me was like, I can treat you for the lows, but it's gonna limit your highs. So which
Wow.
do you want? Do you want to medicate yourself? And then the next time you go from being extremely sad to extremely happy, your creativity is going to be hindered just as much as we tried to help your down. So imagine your down is not as down, but now your up is not as up. So when you're happy, you won't be nearly as creative, but when you're sad, you won't be nearly as depressed. And it's like, you know what? Screw it. I'll take that depression because I want to make this work. And that's a conscious decision. But
Mhm.
cognitively trying to talk myself through it every time. I mean, we all get sad. We all get depressed.
Yeah.
Some of us worse than others. And some
Mhm.
of us, anxiety is not so much of a horrible thing as it is a tool when we're in a good mood. It drives us, it makes us do things. But when
Right.
we're
Yeah.
done with that project, the second
Uh-huh.
we put it down, if we don't start a new one,
Uh-huh.
that will eat us up.
Yeah.
And it happens to me every time. Every time I'm not making a video, I'm not working on anything, I'm sitting back beating myself. And
Oh,
everybody else is like, where'd
I'm
you
really
go?
sorry to hear that, actually. But it's not the first time I've heard it because working in this industry and knowing that many creators, and I think it's a major issue. I think the fact that everyone is working towards this or slaving away to this algorithm. I mean, I personally have had to opt out of that. And that's why I ended up doing something else, which is
Mhm.
talking to other creators. And this is really a conscious decision as well about moving slightly away from the animation series and knit your own
Incredible
videos.
work, by the way, though.
Oh, thanks very much. Thank you.
Very, very good work.
Thanks. And I'm really proud of that catalogue. And I spoke to, I had an interview with another fantastic creator who does kids videos, and she also suffered from depression during her time as a creator, and I think even before that. But it did accentuate it quite a bit. It had its ups and its downs, and I think one of the things is learning how to manage that, and again, being conscious not to be a slave to the algorithm. And the issue, and you mentioned that, is that it is your livelihood. At some point becomes your livelihood. So it's really quite commendable that you have continued to have your full-time job.
Well, I appreciate it. It keeps me grounded,
Uh-huh.
and it's necessary. I've done a little test
Uh-huh.
because you start making. Let me know if I get completely off
No.
topic here, but you
No.
start making money off of YouTube.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do, you're like, hey, this is amazing. I can make all this money. But it always feels like winning the lottery. It never feels like an income, to me, anyways,
Uh-huh.
because it's not steady. You don't know what's
Mhm.
going to happen. You don't know when the next adpocalypse happens or if they might just demonetize you for any reason. You're on a slippery slope. Any
Totally.
second, this
Mhm.
could go away. And you're going to end up stuck owing a ton of taxes on a bunch of money you made, and you're not going to make that bracket anymore. Now,
Absolutely. Mm.
that's detrimental. That is terrifying to me. So what I have done is I have a day job that I work maybe like once a month when they need me or whatever. It's
Uh-huh.
actually in a retail position.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a whole lot of money, but I've already got the down payment on my house. I've got a good amount of it paid off. I have two
Wow.
vehicles, both paid
Good.
off. So, and I've looked at it, and if YouTube stopped paying me tomorrow, I
Uh-huh.
never made another dime.
Uh-huh.
I know that I could go back to my job. I
Mhm.
could say, "Hey, give me full time," and I would make enough money to make ends meet, and that's peace of mind. It's not just plan A. You got to have B, C, D, everything. That's adulting. You have to be prepared and humble to do whatever you got to do to keep going and never put all your eggs in one basket. So, no matter how successful I am with this,
Uh-huh.
I'll never admit it. I still swear it's much more healthy for me to pretend that it could be over at any second.
Oh, I think that's a really healthy thing to do. And I think also for your own sense of well-being as well. It's just like, this isn't real. It's kind of like it's
Imposter syndrome is what it is.
yeah, but I mean, listen, you can't fail. These are great videos, and these, your scripts are amazing. Okay, I mean, whether Sylvester writes them or whether you write them, at the end of the day, they're doing the job. They're so entertaining, and they're giving a lot of people a lot of light relief. Right? I mean, we're talking about, total belly laughs here. Absolutely, laugh out loud, and so you're giving so much. And that's so much pleasure. So at the same time, I mean, I can see how what you're doing, and having that, keeping your job is so essential to keeping you grounded, to keeping your creativity going.
It's
Um,
definitely necessary.
but do
Um,
you think that there are any steps that could be implemented by YouTube to help people like you and creators like you
be
to
contactable. I've never had a job where I couldn't talk to my boss before.
yeah, I know.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the worst part. I don't know what's coming next. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
I'm getting a raise or fired. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know if my video is going to get banned for something that wasn't against the rules at the time. Just give us some information and give us somebody to
Yeah.
talk to. We YouTubers, like the second we hit 1,000 subscribers, every one of us should be assigned a therapist. It's ridiculous.
That's an amazing idea. I think we'll have to put that. Yeah, YouTube therapy. That's what we need. Some of
I
that,
mean,
you know.
on that,
Um,
because people have killed themselves, and it's not a joke. I don't like to talk about suicide, but as the
no.
child of two parents who both committed suicide,
Oh, I'm so
it's
sorry to hear that.
yeah, it's terrible, but it also makes me want to be the survivor.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Living with this kind of thing, just make it through. But yeah, we as YouTubers, as creators, this thing takes over our lives, and not to shy away from what I'm trying to be, which is a fun guy
Yeah.
and entertaining and lighthearted and everything. But I'm not that dumb.
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing is kind of playing with
Absolutely.
fire at the same
Yeah.
time.
So, have you not ever been assigned an account manager at YouTube?
No, never.
And have you ever been to the YouTube space or anything like that?
No, I
If
have not
you
taken the time
no,
to go there.
no. Okay, fine.
I don't wanna be in I'm not in
No.
that, like I said, imposter syndrome. I'm not
Uh-huh.
in that category as you ask me.
Yeah.
I make these videos, I put them on there, and then I'm like a hermit until somebody sees me at Walmart or something. They're like, "Cat guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Or they don't remember my name, so like, "Sylvester," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that's my cat." But other than that, I just play it off. I'm a normal dude. I'm just a normal freaking guy
Yeah,
that
well, that's why I wanted to contact you because I thought, yeah, you look like a cool dude. I could have a good chat with you. And apart from the fact that you do great videos, but I could see there was something else going on as well. I can see that you have another channel, don't you? Is that
Um,
you've got a blog channel, a vlog channel rather?
I have a blog channel that I don't
Uh-huh.
have access to. I haven't
Oh,
haven't accessed it to it for years. I haven't been able to get on there.
oh,
So there's videos on there that are making money for me still, but I can't upload anything. They
oh,
never gave me the access to link the two together because it was associated with an email that I no longer have access to.
okay. Is this Steve Cash blog, that one? Or
Yeah, that one I don't have access to.
okay, that's so strange. Maybe we probably need to get in touch with someone about that. So
Yeah,
YouTube.
my Twitter account got hacked too. I don't have access to that either. And I have
Okay.
about 30 accounts on TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok.
No way.
People show me all the time, and I'm like, yeah, look at all these Steve
Okay.
Cashes with all this stuff. It's not me.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I mean, I'm thinking like what you have here is like this amazing brand, and however you want to look at it, it is a brand because people are talking about it and people love it. Okay, and there are ways of monetizing your channel which are not directly to do with your videos on or your video channel, right? Such as having a brand sponsorship, for example, or selling Sylvester t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, which, you don't necessarily have to do yourself, but as a creator, you can sort of instill I think, what they called
Merchandise, yeah.
yeah, the merchandise and the what's it called? But anyway, the pod t-shirts where you can just design it and it gets shipped out by a fulfillment company. Anyway,
That'd be great. I've been trying, honestly. I tried to do that through Amazon and I got denied.
yeah, no, but I think this is what I was going to talk about was that creators like you and me, because we have to learn so much. First of all, you're creating so much, and you have to learn all the tools and software that you need to create the videos, etc., etc. And then you have to
But I'm
learn
not a
all
designer either. I'm not a clothing
totally
designer.
exactly, and then you have to learn all about the the different avenues that you can monetize your channel. So like the t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, the merch. And you end up having to learn so much that you lose time on your creativity. So that's another issue that a lot of creators I see, including myself, have had to go through. And again, it's not all that healthy, because while you're putting your attention somewhere else to keep the money coming in because you've built such a great brand, then you lose sight on the actual making of your videos, and then people start complaining, you haven't uploaded, we almost forgot you. The algorithm then says, where have you been? We've kind of forgotten about you too. And then other people come in, etc. So it's a fine line. And I think we need to address that, because YouTube is still quite young. It's only 10 years. You know, it's going through its maturity. It's probably at its teenage stage. I think it's just coming through its teenage stage. Maybe it's maturing a little bit.
That's what 18. No, how old is YouTube? It started in 2005. It was bought by Google in 2006 or 2007.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's now
that's right.
2019. It's been a long time, but still, I agree. Yeah, it's young and it's the monopoly, which is scary. There's no competitors. There's nowhere else to go. If I was going to be like, you know what, screw you, YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm going to upload my videos, but I'm not going to use you. I'm taking a pay cut to do that.
yeah.
And I know that because I've looked, I've researched. I think we all have, so we know what's out there.
Well, there was always Facebook
Yeah,
video, etc.
they
But I'm
just
not
only in the
sure.
last couple of years started allowing
Yeah,
monetization
totally.
for the viewer, but that's in the middle of the video.
Yeah,
And that's annoying. That means you'd have to be making videos ready for a climax, somewhere, and then hook them and hope they can make it through that 30-second commercial slot because they want to know what happens next. That's a whole other level of creativity that breaks the creative process away from what we're used to doing.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. So what would you say actually motivates you to keep going and keep creating? What's actually happening?
I am like I said, I have no competition. I lie. My competition is always whatever I uploaded last. It's whatever that guy did, whatever that crap was, do
Yeah.
something better. That's
Okay.
all it is. It's just to get better. And I don't know if there's a peak, as long as there's new ways of learning how
Yeah.
to chroma key and CGI. And trust me, I don't use much CGI, but I've been learning a lot of it more for video game development. It's just to be creative. It's to have an outlet. As a person who's anxiety driven, it's hard for me to sit down
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Absolutely. I mean, you need people. You need a team around you, don't you? Really, to
no, not a
kind of.
team. I need to be by myself, but I need to I
But I
need to
mean,
be doing something. I need to be
yeah.
working towards a goal, and the more little aspects it takes to get that thing together,
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have a project, that's when I fall apart.
That's right. So, I mean, what I meant by team was really to get on with all the other stuff, so you can
Yeah.
concentrate on the creation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there is an app. I won't mention its name, but it is a talking cat of some kind.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's things like that. So there's so many opportunities where brands and companies can come to you, and hopefully, if they have a good deal, it might be something that you could work with. And create something that again is creative, where you have all the input, where where YouTube has maybe you've built up your brand there. There's no doubt about that, and it's still going places. And then you can move off that in terms of your financials and earn revenue elsewhere, but using your brand. And so
Mhm.
that's kind of what I'm all about. And taking now, knowing how YouTube has, it's seeing it as a great platform to
It's a great
present
launch.
your. Yeah, it's a great launch pad. And then seeing it like that and seeing what other opportunities are coming on. And right from the start, how things have changed. There are, say, technology's moved on, all that kind of, what's the word? The t-shirts, all that merch stuff.
Mhm.
I back in the day I was making my own DVDs and my own app, and now everything's kind of done for you. You just need a brand and an audience. And it's like, well, you've got that. And now's probably the easiest time to sort of get onto that bandwagon and sort of doing something with your channel. So I think there are opportunities now, but we have to see if there's a way that's an easy way for people to sort of get onto that, because I think the issue is, like, once you start doing that, you do take yourself a little bit away from the videos, but it's a balance.
Yeah, I've done that in the past. I have
Uh-huh.
done merchandising in the past, and I've
Uh-huh.
I've done it through third-party aggregators online, as
Oh
well
yeah.
as just doing it through a printer here locally and trying to
Uh-huh.
do my own fulfillment center. And it took away from the video editing. You're exactly right. All of a sudden I was completely hindered unless I have a team of people. And what's cool is my wife and I have been talking about this lately because I know I need merch. I've been designing, but I'm not a designer.
No, right.
So I've got people that I talk to on like DeviantArt, that have made some stuff, and I'm asking them, hey, what kind of percentage would I have to pay you? Because I want to pay them. If
Yeah,
you're making
sure.
work for something of mine and I'm going
Yeah,
to make a profit, I want you to make a profit too.
yeah,
So I'm leaning in that direction because I'm not a designer, as well as where am I going to sell this? I know there's this new products on YouTube, and I haven't really had much of a chance to dive into them because I'm so busy with the current video project I'm on, and I'm excited, but it takes a lot of work. So
yeah,
everything has to end up taking a back seat. And when people are like, why don't you have t-shirts and this and that? I'm like, do you want a video or not? That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, this is like another kind of challenge that we have to face. But actually, talking about challenges, I was going to ask you, is there anything like any confessions or major challenges that you faced in your journey, in your YouTube journey?
Just the depression and the
Yeah.
pressure really is what
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes when I have gone, I'll finish a project and then I'll sit back and I'll watch the views, skyrocket and then drop and drop and drop. And we know how that goes. The second it's new,
Yeah.
it's everybody's watching it, but
Yeah.
that little graph's going to show you it's going to drop until it's just down there with everything else, and the longer that goes on, the worse it gets for me. But a lot of times I give up. I feel like I'm done. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like asking a painter to paint the same picture over and over and over again. Give me a different canvas. Give me a different model. Give me some clay. Maybe I don't want to paint anymore.
Yeah.
You just want to break away from it. So that's
Yeah.
my problem. That's what's always been my thing, is I feel backed into a corner sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So I just have to find more ways to be creative in the corner.
Uh-huh. And would you actually like to put your music not on this channel, but create a new channel, or move away from being known as Sylvester?
Yeah, I've done that with Pause for the Cause a bit, and one of the most amazing things, I was out and about, somebody was like, oh, you're Steve Cash. And I'm like, yeah. And I was getting so ready to talk about my cat. And
Oh,
they're
right.
like, I love your band.
Oh.
And I had never been so excited in my life. I was
So
like, are you
Pause
kidding?
for the Cause is the name of your band, and you've got
It
a
is.
channel.
Yeah. And I was on stage. We were at a concert house doing our own CD release or free concert. I don't remember what it was, but it was a packed house. And we had a break in between songs because I broke a string. And I'm trying to rev up the crowd and everything. And the first person I heard was, how's Sylvester? And I was just like, and then the crowd went wild. And I was like, son of a bitch, I can't get away. I'm out here in this reggae band singing and playing the guitar, and I got sunglasses on trying to, be somebody else. And they still want to know how my cat is. So
Yeah, I guess the upside is that is the cat that can propel you into this new life of touring around the world or whatever. So what's your ambition with Pause for the Cause?
Just to be a musician. I played the guitar as long as I can remember, and I've always been a music writer. It's my dream, actually, in the end, not to be on stage, but to just be in a studio writing songs and either pitching them, to other artists, or building my own catalog and seeing what I can do with it. And if it doesn't work, at least I'm still doing something.
Yeah.
I just don't want to grow old depressed. I want to
No.
grow old doing something.
Yeah.
So and I look forward to that. I
Yeah,
really do. To
absolutely.
just stepping back a little bit, because this has been crazy. You get dizzy with creativity. You get dizzy with the amount of success you have. And it's disorienting at times. That's why the day job is there. I go back and I just clock in and I just do normal stuff and talk to people, and I feel better than all those days where I sat at home trying to, get it on my own deadline and get everything done before the fans forgot I existed.
Yeah, your fans will never forget that you existed because your videos are continuing to do so well. I mean, you have to put things in perspective, in a sense that look how huge your channel is compared to a lot of new YouTubers who are starting and struggling, and they're nowhere to be seen, and they're putting in a lot of effort, like you, and what doing all the best practice, but they're still struggling. And I know that because I have a lot of clients and students and all that kind of thing, and I see that.
It's tough. I get asked quite often, what's the secret to success?
Yeah.
YouTube. And I hate this. It's such a pessimistic answer, but I get very sarcastic, and I'm like, a time machine. You need to go back to like 2007 and do it then, because it's almost impossible now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so oversaturated.
Mhm.
There's some of us that are the lucky ones, and I think we know we got lucky. We know we did. We got in right on time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything after that was a pain, unless you're Jake Paul, in which case I hate that crap anyway.
Yeah. Totally. And that's right. And it is about timing, but there's always a new time. There's always something new
Yeah,
coming
there's
along.
another generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it, mhm.
That's right. And it's like you either look out for it or you feel it. You get inspired by something. You think, just like this podcast, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I felt so strongly that so many creators like you that I'm speaking to, that I know in my circle of friends, whatever, they weren't really being heard. And I think it's important that new YouTubers, well, anyone trying to be successful on YouTube, get to hear the real story, the story behind the success, the tips for success going forward.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't know where it's going, but I don't have a pre-plan. And that's exactly how, we started our channel. That seems to be how you started your channel.
And the rules have
And
changed. Yeah.
yeah, and that obviously was the zeitgeist at the time. It was moving, it was exciting, it was happening. And what's next?
Mhm.
We don't always have to be looking over our shoulder and worrying about competitors, because in the early days you didn't think about YouTubers having competitors. Now a lot of people say, oh, so who are your competitors? You have to see what your competitors are doing so you can survive, so you can keep up.
Yeah, but at the same time, here's my thing. I try not to watch them, and I try not to watch my own things, because I don't want to get influenced by somebody else in what direction they're going in. I
Uh,
figure my own creations are gonna evolve on their own, so
mhm.
I try to add in new and implement new ideas and this and that without being influenced by other YouTubers, because I don't wanna be like them. I found myself doing it. I remember there was one video where, I watched it, and I had been really into that, channel, How to Basics. I'm not sure if you're, familiar with it, but it's just
No.
this guy that says how to do, whether it's bake an apple pie or mop the floor, or,
Okay. Yeah.
carve a chicken, or
Yeah.
but it's always a disaster. It's always just his hands. He never says anything. He's just silent, and he does these things, and he never really achieves the goal, but is freaking hilarious and shocking to watch.
Uh-huh.
And his YouTube channel racked up a couple million subscribers in
Yeah.
months. And watching him so often, I found the next video I had created had this weird How to Basics feel to it, in which I had no dialogue for a little bit too long in the video and was just doing things with my hands and feet. And I was just like, wait, 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 wait. Stop watching YouTube, Steve.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what happens,
Uh-huh.
So if you're going to be true to yourself, I mean, yeah, you have to have an influence of some kind, but don't go, like, to me, don't watch the competitor. I'm not trying to keep up with them. I'm trying to keep up with me.
Oh, that's such a good point. That's brilliant. I mean, actually, it's one of those things that you can't help but watch it because people are showing you and stuff, and then you get curious.
Mhm.
Then there's an algorithm change, and then you got to check things out, or your views are going down, or your subscribers are going down, or whatever, and you need to keep up a little bit with what's
Oh, yeah.
going on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think it's really good from a creative point of view not to watch the same type of videos. Have you ever come across any channels that try to emulate what you do? Are you like the leader in your space?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've seen some of, like, random talking, like the cat that's just like, hey, hey, and that went viral there for a little bit, and I got a little irritated because I'm like, I put so much contextual dialogue in it,
Yeah, yeah,
and story. What is this? But I get it. I get why that went viral. It was simple. You didn't have to think. You didn't have to follow a storyline.
mm,
So I
mm,
was like, we're not on the same playing field, so this isn't actually my competition,
yeah,
because nobody is out here making stories like this,
yeah, hmm,
following something that's so difficult to do. So
yeah, absolutely,
I really don't feel like I have competition, and if I do,
yeah,
I wanna see it, because
yeah.
that would be fun for me. I'd like to see what angles they're taking at it. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be fun actually.
it'd be
So
great.
I'm gonna give it a go.
Heck yeah, let's see it. No, I always figured, like, if, the day comes, Sylvester passes away, it's obviously
Yeah,
done. I'm not
yeah,
gonna keep moving forward after that, because he's the star.
yeah,
Then I would probably try to just go ahead and give away all the secrets. Just be like,
yeah,
I wanna see who the next talking kitty cat is after
yeah,
that. Just kinda
absolutely.
let it live a life of its own,
Yeah.
and stop trying to not explain the
Hmm.
very specific details and how I make it look so good.
Yeah.
or so
Yeah.
bad at the same time.
Yeah. Actually, I remembered just before we got onto the interview, I was speaking to my daughter and I was looking at what your earliest video, and I think it was there was a sibling rivalry one. So it was obviously when you were sort of more vlogging.
Oh
Um,
yeah, talking about my
uh,
sister.
and it was quite funny because she said, I said, "Oh yeah, this was made about 10 years ago," and she goes, "Oh, is that why it's black and white?" I was like, "No, that was
That
15
was
years
on
ago."
Windows Movie Maker. No,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a long time ago. Things were black and white, but yeah, that's funny. Kids actually think YouTube was around. Like, did YouTube start TV? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's the other
Yeah,
way
I know.
around.
I know. Well, exactly. It's just hilarious. It's just they think, that everything was black and white like 10 years ago. It's like, no. I grew up with color TV actually. Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a
Um,
Nintendo as a child.
oh,
We
really?
were already doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. You're still playing various video games, won't mention them. Um, we're coming to an end of our interview now. And just before we go, I just want to kind of ask you a little bit about what's coming up for you personally. Where are you going to go? Where do you want to go? Like maybe, what's your biggest ambition now?
That is a good question. I'm just kind of riding the wave, to be honest with
Uh-huh.
you. I know I'd like to see what happens with the band. We're supposedly putting together another tour in April.
Uh-huh.
I want to see some music videos come out of that. We're already out on iTunes and Amazon and
Uh-huh.
everywhere you can be. And then
Okay,
with the
great.
videos, I just want to continue. I just want to see how creative I can get. Allow myself to take the breaks and do
Uh-huh.
like I've done. Don't go back and read the comments. Just push forward. Don't look back. And that's always been kind of my way of doing it. That's why people wonder, why don't you comment? Why are there no comments? And like, why would I be in the past? Why I'm not going to be back there. I was already just kind of just see where I can go.
Yeah.
I want to retire happy.
Uh-huh.
And if I can do that from YouTube,
Mhm.
I'm happy. And if I can teach anything and make other people feel better, and a lot of times they say that the videos they help them with their depression and whatnot. And it's just it hits me right in the heart.
Well, I think they're absolutely right. You're absolutely inspiring. Your scripts are on point, and I think you give a lot of people a lot of joy, and keep that up because it's amazing, and hopefully it doesn't take too much out of you, and it's a very natural. It seems to be a very natural part of what gives you joy, as long as you
For the most
stick to
part.
the to the original formula of doing it out of love and fun, and not doing it for anyone else
Of course. Well,
apart
thank
from
you.
your friends.
Thank you.
So I wish you all the best with that. And I really am so grateful that you could come and talk to me today. And it's brilliant just sharing your wisdom. And thanks for being so open and honest as well with what's really going on outside of the YouTube channel. It's been amazing. Thanks so much.
And thank you. And thank you for this concept alone. This podcast idea is incredible. This one of the reasons why I wanted to come on here is this needs to be done. And
Oh,
I
thank you.
really commend you for filling in
Oh.
the void of somewhere that we need this.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. It's really good to hear, actually. So I know that I'm on the right path.
Of course you are. I'll definitely be sharing this.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Take care now.
Of course, you as well.
Thank you. If you're looking to rapidly grow your channel but don't know where to start, then join my YouTube Audience Growth Lab, where I take you through the 5 steps to automate your YouTube success so that you can focus on what you love doing most, delivering awesome content and reaching those viewers. The great part is it's available all year round, and I'm offering the first module absolutely free when you sign up today. It's ready and waiting when you are, so now's the time to take action. You can learn more and see what other students are saying by clicking the link in the show notes below. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.